All right, guys. Final topic of the day. Again, sponsored by Topps.
The trading cards?
Yes, trading cards.
Interesting.
I used to collect Topps.
Star Wars Card Trader is the official Star Wars digital trading card app, available now exclusively on the App Store and Google Play. Open, trade, and collect cards entirely online, no cardboard, foil, or gum in sight. Collect from 30 years of officially licensed Star Wars trading cards from the vintage era through to today, with new cards being released every day. Get the first cards from Star Wars The Force Awakens. The recently announced new characters are available in the vintage-inspired Star Wars 77 designs. Star Wars Card Trader is currently the only place to get Star Wars The Force Awakens merchandise. That's interesting. I'm really excited that leaked images of merch are starting to come out online.
Yeah, it's cool. It's exciting. We're getting close.
Yeah, we're getting real close. What is it, 6 months out? 5 months out? Almost 5.
Yeah.
Sweet
Wow,
Jesus.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's happening, guys. They have fan favorites like Darth Maul, Yoda, Chewbacca, Grand Moff Tarkin, and deep cuts like the Rancor Keeper, Squid Head, Ayla Sakura. Do you know who that is?
No.
No
Squid
idea.
Head is reuse, right?
I don't know. It just says Squid Head.
And
Jocasta Nu,
and
Max Rebo.
Max Rebo, nice. That's my dude.
Watto, where's Watto?
Well, it doesn't say. I don't know if Watto's there. We can't confirm nor deny, but I'm gonna hope, Greg.
I knew it was
I'm
going to
gonna
be a
hope this for you.
family. They don't even give me a trading card now.
So head on over to tops.com/kindafunny. Tops has 2 P's. So TOPPS.com
You knew that.
/kindafunny.
You've seen these cards.
And start collecting today. Tops.com/.
Thanks, Tops.
Yeah, you guys are cool. I want to check those out. I want to see if there was a Watto. Someone tweet at me. Let me know if there's a Watto. So,
Do you want him like in his original form or now that he's a horse?
I don't know if that's canon, Greg. All right. So, we're going to lead off with a question from Jack Lundquist, Kadow3 on Twitter. Now, as always, if you have questions for us to answer, go to the forums, kindafunny.com/forums. There's a Gamescast topic. You can leave your things or tweet at me at
Leave
Tim
your
Gettys,
things.
and we'll do some stuff.
Leave your things.
Leave all of your things. Okay. He says, talk about why Fallout 4 didn't get mentioned at all for Game of the Show. Now, a lot of people were tweeting me about this because I left it a little nebulous at
Yeah,
the
you're
end
like,
of our...
we'll discuss this next
We'll
time.
discuss this next time. Gentlemen, go.
We don't like Fallout 4.
over.
We don't like Bethesda. We hate Todd. No, we love Fallout. We love the thing about it. And I hinted at this with my Metal Gear thing, is that E3 is about surprises and what happened at the show. And Fallout 4's trailer came out a week before E3. We knew it was coming. It was telegraphed. We were told it was going to happen. And so then when we got there and we watched the trailer, it was more Fallout, which is all we wanted, right? Like, it was a better looking Fallout with new mechanics of Fallout, and it was Fallout. And so, like, when we get to, and it's hypocritical, I guess. I gave an award to Uncharted, and I was like, Uncharted's demo blew me away. Fallout's demo blew me away. I guess that's the thing. We're talking about being blown away in two different contexts. Fallout blew me away in the fact of, oh, they added this system. Oh my God, I'm going to do this. Oh my God, so many hours. Oh, we get to talk, the voices. That's rad. That's rad. That's rad. Uncharted blew me away in the fact of, like, look at the graphics. Look at my heart's racing watching. Like, it was a full on, here's 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the game. This is straight gameplay. This is what it looks like. Whereas Fallout jumped all around and showed us different slices of it, which is great and awesome. But Uncharted showed me something that was this Horizon, Killzone Horizon.
Killzone Horizon.
Jesus Christ.
Basically.
Guerrilla's Horizon, showed us a giant chunk of the game, and this is how it's going to play, and this is it moment to moment. I guess it's a shitty answer, but I mean, we're not journalists or whatever. Or critics, I guess. But, it was excitement. I was excited about these games. Fallout, like, I went and got my Pip-Boy edition as soon as I could. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited for Fallout, but I feel like I know what I'm getting with Fallout. It's like Batman. I was excited for Batman. I was ready for Batman, but I know what I'm getting with Batman. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Am I putting this in a good way?
That's the way I feel about it too. I mean, I'm fucking jazzed about Fallout 4, but we had known, First of all, it was obvious it was going to be shown.
We've been talking about it since January.
I know, like we've been talking about it for a very long time, and it's exciting. I'm very excited about it. Honestly, I'm way more excited about Horizon, honestly, than I am Fallout, because I just feel like it's something new and different and exciting from this studio. So that's why I chose it. I understand why that's confusing. It doesn't mean I'm fucking super jazzed about Fallout 4. I'm gonna play the shit out of that game. We all are. So, that explains it. I'm more excited about Horizon. I think it looks new and it's different. It's a new idea. No offense to Bethesda. Fallout 4 is certainly not a new idea. It's more of an idea we love.
Yeah.
And I think that Horizon is a new idea from a studio that we didn't think was going to do something like this, even though it was long rumored. And here it is.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited. Horizon looks fucking rad. Yeah.
I mean, E3 definitely is about the surprises and those moments where you're like, oh crap, or like you are proven wrong, or like all these different things. And I think for me, I gave it to Mario Maker, Horizon, and Cuphead. Cuphead, I knew nothing about that game. I saw this and I'm like, fell in love with it. I've watched that trailer maybe 10 times since E3 just because I'm like, whoa, this looks amazing. Mario Maker, we've known about it for years at this point, and I've always been like, it's going to be cool, it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But then seeing what they did at the Nintendo World Championships, I'm like, man, this game is going to be awesome. And they turned something that was like, oh yeah, it'll be fine to, I need this game now.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I got that for me. And then Horizon was the game that came out that was like, this looks great, and we didn't even know about it.
Yeah.
Fallout, it's like, and again, I'm not a Fallout guy, so I wouldn't have personally given it. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, their presence at the Bethesda conference and, you know, the Microsoft conference too, it's like, everyone in the room shut the fuck up for that. That was what they were there for. But it wasn't a surprise, and there was nothing about it that people were like, I can't believe they did that.
Right.
It was all, this is exactly what I want.
Fallout 4 is similar to me, is in the similar boat with me as Metal Gear Solid, where Metal Gear Solid I already know is on my short list for Game of the Year, and I imagine Fallout 4 will be as well, and I imagine Fallout 4 is going to win. So it's like, they're not the underdog, you know what I mean? Uncharted, I was like, yeah, okay, more Uncharted. I like more Uncharted. I left that demo being like, that was awesome. That was unexpected. You know what I mean?
Well, that's like the Mario Maker thing, where it's like you went into it knowing it's going to be good, but came out of it like, fuck, that was great.
It's a shitty thing, I guess. But once you're on top, you have to figure out how to keep outdoing yourself. And Fallout's outdoing itself, but not in the way of like, that's totally not what I expected. I was like, oh, that's what I expected it to look like, and I can't fucking wait to spend 100 hours with it. Mm-hmm. Make bad decisions, fight ghouls.
My favorite decisions.
Wear
are
my
bad
Pit Boy
decisions.
every time I stream it.
Oh, Lord. All right. Luke Williams at Leroy3707 wants to know what you guys think about Batman.
Oh,
I have no opinion on it right now. I haven't played it yet.
I've been playing. I'm 4.5 hours into Batman Arkham Knight right now, and this will be spoiler free. I streamed the first 4 hours last night, and when I shut it off and was closing down, the things that stood out for me were beautiful. I'm playing on PlayStation 4, so I don't have any of these PC problems. Beautiful. Sorry, I'm in the PlayStation 4 Master Race. You might have heard of it. Beautiful. Ryan Clements. Or his grandfather, actually. Beautiful game. Stories. What did I say today? It's awesome. It's a great story, but I said something today that you gave me a hard time. Fascinating. It's a fascinating story. Like, wait till you play it, because, like, this is what I'm talking about, too. It's like what I think Arkham Origins did so well. I'm just like, here's the real story. And you're like, oh, fuck. And, like, that was the thing of, like, I gotta play this. I gotta know everything that's happening. And I was doing the stream, and it was like I wanted to know more. So here's where we get into a negative, where I just played the story, and I'm just going through the story, running through the story, and I'm not doing the side missions that are popping up, because I'm like, number one, I'll get to them later when I feel like it, and number two, I'm gonna do New Game Plus with it, and I'll max them all out there because of the cover. You know, they're saying that I think it carries over, and even if it doesn't, I'll just do it then. But I'm running through the story. And I know when we read the GameSpot review, that was the 7 compared to all the 9s and 10s it was getting right. One of the negatives they put were the forced Batmobile segments. I was like, what a weird thing to do. And then last night, running through the story, ignoring everything else, I was like, oh, yeah, I don't want to do these forced Batmobile segments. You know what I mean? Because like, last night I'm playing and I'm doing the story, and you're in the Batmobile, and you have to engage all these different tank vehicles that keep coming up to you, and you have to do it at a number of different points as you're running, and it felt like it was just like, okay, I'm getting into being I'm in the car again, and I'm not only am I in the car, I'm playing World of Tanks. And it's like, I don't want to do this. Like, this isn't Batman sliding, because you're sliding and strafing and blowing up these things, and they're trying to shoot you, but it's like, it's not even that fast of a. It's not fast-paced action. It's not from the fast-paced action genre. So you're skating around and blowing them all up, and it's like, all right, whatever. But it's like, I just want to be Batman. It's about being Batman and putting me in the car, being the Batman. It doesn't work for me, and I was like, I'll have to figure out if that balances out later on. Today, when I woke up and played for like another 45 minutes or whatever, I just did side quests. And those were the missions that, number one, made me feel like Batman. I'm doing the combat we all know and love. I'm sneaking up on guys. I'm like, oh, great. Number two, it was, let's use the Batmobile to get around the city. Let's get from point A to point B. That feels awesome. Driving the Batmobile just as a Batmobile feels great. And then there's these missions where you have to take out like armored cars in the city, and those kind of were springing up today as I went. So I'm like going to somewhere else, and it's like, oh no, it's Batman. I'm like, oh, fuck you. And I'm like driving these guys off the road, and I'm slamming them. That Batmobile combat was real fun. And then when I went and did some of the side missions that had me do the tank thing, I wasn't as like, oh, this fucking shit again. Because it's like, I knew what I was getting into. The pacing felt better. It's, you know, it's a sandwich there and not just a piece of meat, if that makes sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's more adding to it, and it was takeaway. So I have to go through tonight. I'm going to do more story, obviously. Hopefully, if I start burning out, then I'll start going to side missions and doing that stuff.
At Thinkysaurus, Daniel Thompson, he wants to know what your thoughts are on the new South Park. which I think is
Very
one of the
exciting.
biggest surprises.
That
of
was a
E3.
huge
That
surprise.
was a huge surprise. Yeah, another game that gets, or another announcement that's getting overlooked because there's so
Yes.
much other stuff. But yeah, you want to talk about a game I never thought we'd get. You know, Matt and Trey were so down on that game when I interviewed them at Comic-Con and hosted that panel with them that I was like, eesh, probably never going to see this again. And then for them to come out and like, we're doing it again. It's superhero themed. I was like, oh my God, I cannot wait for this game. However, it's then weird that it's not with Obsidian. It's with Ubisoft San Francisco. It's like, okay, like these, how far out is this game going to be, and what's happening with any of this?
Yeah, it's got to be a ways out. I think the infrastructure's there, the engine's there. It'll run better on PS4 and Xbox One, which is certainly where this game's going to live. And I think with all of that done, since that's what we were saying is like South Park's not going to be about visual fidelity. They achieved the visual fidelity of the cartoon. That's as good as it's going to get. So they don't have to worry about that anymore. Now they can just make the story and the new assets that they need to make. I'm fucking jazzed, man.
Yeah, dude.
Like I thought Stick of Truth was, first of all, one of the most surprising games I'd played in years. And that game was in development hell forever. It switched publishers, as everyone remembers.
Yeah.
It was in trouble. That game was in a lot of trouble. And they got it out, and it was fucking awesome. And if
Yeah.
it wasn't for a couple other games, like Child of Light and a couple, that was like the best game that year. Shovel Knight. That would probably my third favorite. Probably my third favorite game of the year. And I'm not even a South Park fan. I haven't watched South Park regularly since 2000 or 2001.
Yeah.
I hadn't laughed that hard at a game ever. I was like hysterical the entire time. I was like, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. I forgot that I love these characters. South Park has not run its course.
Yeah.
I was wrong about that. I didn't think it did even when I was a kid. I was just like, I don't really want to watch this anymore. I don't know. I was hugely surprised by it too. Money talks, I'm sure. And
Yeah. Once Ubisoft saw the figures they were doing, and you have to still imagine they're trying to put the original out on.
yeah,
PS4,
it makes
Xbox
sense.
One.
Make it run better and stuff like that. But man, yeah, I would venture to say I platinumed the Stick of Truth, and I would venture to say I would do it again if it was on PS4.
Wow.
Because it's not a hard platinum. The game's like 10 hours long, and it's like super fucking fun. So if they do another game like that, a weekend game basically,
Yeah.
I'm in. I'm totally in. It was
In,
a
like,
huge.
when?
That was a genuine. I would have never in a million years guessed surprise based on the way they talked about the original, and not that they thought the original was bad. They just didn't have fun
They just
making
didn't
it.
want to do it, yeah. The Ghost 6 wants to know, do you think Sony will hurt due to the lack of exclusives in 2015, or the marketing for Battlefront or do you think the marketing for Battlefront and Call of Duty will make up for it?
So we talked about it.
Yeah, we
right?
talked about this earlier. I don't know how Greg feels about it, but I think the deal with Call of Duty, for instance, like the Activision deals, are too little, too late. I don't think it matters. I think that's actually a waste of Sony's money. Mostly because I think that Xbox has already engendered that community, and that community exists. And if anything, that community is plateauing and is going to start truncating soon. So, and I'm interested to see how that all shakes out. Again, as a pundit of the industry, as a studious person of the industry, I want to see how it plays out, and I hope that they have no exclusives. Because I just want to see how it plays out. The Destiny thing did not work out like as well as people thought it did for them.
But it did do that thing where I think a lot of people associate it with them. You know what I mean? I do think they have mind share on that game that's a PlayStation thing because of the exclusives they have.
Well, I mean, it's crazy to look at someone like Alfredo, who is an Xbox guy.
He's an Xbox.
And he still is when it comes to Destiny. Like, he plays his Xbox version's his main one, but he has a PS4 character that he cares about. And, like, that's crazy to me, is that, like, that game did do something to hardcore Xbox people.
I think Xbox is going to close the gap. I think I don't think it's going to be they're going to pull ahead. I don't think they're going to match Sony's numbers, but I think they are going to make a dent this fall winter.
Nima Moritzen asks, what's the difference between being at E3 with Kind of Funny and IGN?
It was a lot more tiring and kind of funny.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we finished day one and I said it's like we just finished day three. That's how tired I was, just because, I kept saying to people, we are trying to put on the same show here we put on there for all intents and purposes, right? Like, we're still bringing same caliber of guests, same workload, except that there's no support team. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, I'm booking, everybody's running around calling their contacts, Kevin's screaming in the other room and trying to get us, we're all talking to each other on IFBs, and it's like, there's no one to throw to that isn't one of us. And so we're all trying to manage where everybody is and stuff.
Yeah, it's, I've said this a million times now to you guys, but it was just more to me. It was more everything. It was more hard. It was more fun. It was more rewarding. It was more challenging. It was all of these things at once. But it was just interesting. It's interesting being able to not have to. I mean, you still have to think about what you're saying, but you can just be a little bit more open and honest and definitely casual. You know?
Sure. Yeah.
Being able to just like have fun and just be us. I think that's the coolest part of it, is that this E3 it might have been the first time ever that people were allowed to, on that level, thanks to GameSpot giving us that stage, on a huge stage on the show floor of E3, be able to just be dudes
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
Sure.
hanging out and like just letting people know our opinions on
Bros
stuff.
broing out.
Yeah, and it's like, and that was really cool. And being able to have Chloe and Alfredo there too, like, it was fun, you know. And it was fun that at any moment all of us were doing something to create this show and to
Right.
create this thing, and that we didn't really need to worry too much about all the hierarchy of stuff because we are the hierarchy. That's not to take away from IGN at all. It's very different. Like, I wouldn't even be able to compare this year to our previous years. Our previous years, each one of us had a very stratified role. We had one thing that we had to do. Do it hard. You know?
Do it hard.
Here it's like we have 10 million things to do. Do them all hard at once with each other. Stare into each other's eyes.
Yeah.
Do it hard.
hard as many times as you could each day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so overall, I mean, I can't wait for next year. I think next year's going to be totally different than this year.
Yeah.
That's exciting, you know? Like we keep saying with everything that we do is kind of funny. It's like, it's never going to be like this again. And it's like, it's never going to be like that again.
Let's
This
have a
was a
dunk
unique
tank.
experience. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Last question.
Final question, everybody.
Papello 14.
Okay.
Is that it? I need a reading from you, Kevin. Papello?
Pepolo, maybe?
Pepello?
Papella sounds good.
Anyways, do we need the EA, Ubisoft, Bethesda, Square type companies conferences annualized or just for great events like Fallout 4? Now, we talked about this a bit. Let's take Bethesda out of it because Bethesda is going to do just the
Sure.
event ones.
Presumably. We don't know that for sure, but I can't
But
imagine.
yeah, Square, EA, Ubisoft. Now, Square hasn't always had one. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. EA, Ubisoft essentially always have, right? I don't think.
Yeah.
At least in recent memory,
Sure,
they
sure,
always
sure.
have. Do you see a world where one of them bows out?
One of those two, no.
Yeah, they have so many games going. They always have that, Gatling gun of announcements and things to talk about. Like it is, like we're saying, maybe it isn't for us, maybe it is for Wall Street Journal, maybe it's for their investors. Like they have things they need to talk about to people.
But see, the thing there is like you look at Activision, right? And I mean, they haven't had a press conference for. Did they ever? I don't even remember. I
They
feel
used
like
to do that
they had a
pre-show
showcase
all the
there.
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think they ever did a press conference that I can remember.
They don't need to.
But it's like, why do they not need to? But EA or Ubisoft does. You
I
know?
feel like a big part of Activision's business model is licensed games. And that's gone. That's dried up in a lot of ways. And there's still, I'm not saying there's none, but I'm saying it's not like it was before where there's like a Spider-Man game every year and there's this, that, and the other thing, right? Like it's Skylanders, it's the Blizzard stuff. I don't even know if you want to include that in there. It's Call of Duty, right? And like Call of Duty can get feature somewhere else. Skylanders will pop up somewhere else. Skylanders is one of those games that doesn't speak to the E3 audience necessarily. You know what I mean? Like, say in the same way Disney Infinity doesn't need its own conference, right? Like when there's a cool Star Wars tie-in, you bring it in there and you try to make a big deal about it. But in general, Skylanders doesn't need to come out and be like, hey, no, it's triple swap where you take the base and the midsection and the head of a guy and you make Shark Tater Man. No, you don't need, you know what I mean?
Shark Tater, man.
Yeah.
What's that?
Shark head, tater midsection, man legs.
Got it.
Because
Got
you're
it.
aware this was the big upgrade to Skylanders a while back. Yeah? You're not? Are you?
No, I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Steve Butts loved it.
Yeah.
My
John Carl,
my
too.
assumption is that Activision. I mean, all the publishers get in the bed with the first parties, but I feel like Activision does it strategically in a way where they actually make money on E3, and I think that's a thing where that's just a Bobby Kotick. Their business,
Yeah.
So I think when they appear at Sony's conference, Sony's probably paying them, and so they don't have to worry about anything else. I think that to them, they're like, well, we'll show our games where it makes sense, and we don't need to show everything, and then you don't have redundancies like Ubisoft and EA does. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that Activision's just really way bigger. So,
It's weird, though. It's
Yeah.
like Activision doesn't want to make money, you know?
Yeah, that's pretty much Activision.
I mean, if they wanted to make money, there's a simple way to do it. His name's Crash Bandicoot, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us for the Kind of Funny Gamescast. Last ever, episode 25. Yeah, don't give me shit for that. Or don't give me shit for that. You know what?
You live your life.
You do you, I'll do me. And we'll just appreciate each other as mutual frenemies.
Doers. Oh, okay.
Doers?
sure.
Whether we're friends, whether we're enemies, whatever it is, let's just do it. It'll be fun. Thank you.